All right, it's 10 o'clock, so we're going to start our third and final session for today. I want to welcome everyone who's new to us for this session. This is again, the third session in a series of 3 this morning that's sponsored by the Montgomery County Network for Education and Workforce, and it's our first ConnectED Summit of this year. Just a reminder that this webinar is being recorded. You are welcome to place any questions you have throughout the presentation into the chat. Time permitting at the end, we're happy to answer them. If not, we'll be able to pull those out of the chat and respond to those in a follow-up email. This is just a reminder that our organization is really here to foster a dynamic and collaborative community comprised of young adults, employers, and educators. And our goal is to create opportunities for strategic interactions, partnerships, training, hiring, and marketing of viable careers. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to learn more, please visit us at the website on the screen. As I mentioned, we had 3 sessions today. The third and final is really geared towards educators, high school seniors, and parents. Employers, you're welcome to stay with us. The goal really of this session is to talk a little bit about graduation to gainful employment. What are some pathways? What should educators, seniors, and parents know about those opportunities? And we're going to actually start it off shortly with Dan Cheminsky talking a little bit about Act 158.
All right, so just a brief overview of Act 158. I know there's some educators in the room, and you're probably sick of hearing about it. But for any parents or students viewing the recording, if you don't know already, Act 158 was implemented 2 years ago by the state of Pennsylvania. It is an additional requirement for graduation for students to graduate from high school in addition to grades. So there's multiple pathways, and what's good about it and why we bring it up is that it's not just based on testing. And what it does is it allows for an additional emphasis on students that are stronger in a CTE, or doing awesome and amazing things in a CTE, or doing a pre-apprenticeship, or going out there and doing an internship, or working, or doing a job shadow, but just aren't good at the tests. Like, this is another way for them to graduate and to move on, because it's allowing them to highlight their strengths within. So I think it's a great thing. There's 4 pathways to it. 5, count the composite keystone, but I'm not going to go into that. Passing the keystones one way or another by average, or passing all 3. If you attend a career and technical school, if you pass the NOCTI, that's a way for you to meet your graduation requirement. Evidence-based pathway. So you have to have multiple pieces of evidence from 2 different columns. These could include doing different work-based learning experience, so job shadows, internships, career mentoring activities, all those things that can go together. If you have good grades and qualify for the NCAA, different combinations of things, but in essence, earning an industry certification, which is great for someone going into the workforce, or something great for their resume. So all those things together allow that young person to graduate if meeting that evidence-based pathway. And then the last one, the alternative-based pathway, alternative assessment-based pathway, certain SAT scores, ACT scores. We mentioned the work keys earlier, a certain score on the work keys. And then for our purposes today, completing a registered pre-apprenticeship. So our pre-apprenticeship Monco manufacturing, another way for young people to potentially graduate, and that's another reason why we wanted to have it in place as a pathway for young people that, hey, I'm excited about manufacturing. I want to work with my hands. I'm mechanically inclined, but I don't have this other pathway. This could be that other pathway. So just something we wanted to mention and briefly kind of give an overview of, as we kind of talked about, different points of emphasis moving forward. So I'm going to throw it to Adina to talk a little bit more about exciting apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship within the state of PA.
Thanks, Dan. So, welcome. Good morning. It's always really exciting to speak with parents, students, and educators about registered apprenticeship and registered pre-apprenticeship, mainly because most of my role entails talking with employers so that we can have more of these wonderful opportunities. So it's exciting to be able to speak with an audience of yourselves because it's equally important that you are aware of what these are. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of publicity and marketing lately, at least with workforce development and employer circles, about registered apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship. And there's a lot of misinformation on their side too, so don't feel like you're missing something. Everyone is getting caught up. So I wanted to start the explanation with what is modern registered apprenticeship, because everybody is still thinking of it as part of unions, skilled trades, and construction. And it's super important to know that two things. When you hear the word apprenticeship connected to a job or from an employer, most of the time you think of training. I do get a lot of emails asking about our apprenticeship programs in Montgomery County. So I want to help you make the distinction between the term apprenticeship and registered apprenticeship, which is, as you'll see in the next few slides, actually programs that meet government criteria, but they are actually full-time jobs from employers. And here you can see the number of industries that we've expanded this into. This is a way that employers can train new hires, or maybe some young people that they hired right out of high school, have been there a while and proved their worth, who they can upskill or train for occupations that the employee may not already be ready for via certification or experience. So it's great for employers to implement, and we really try and get them to do so because it does create these wonderful hiring opportunities for young people who can try out a new career and really make headway in it without coming in with all the requirements already. And like I said, you see the wonderful industries that we are working very diligently to expand these into. Next slide, please, Kendall. Okay, so I wanted to give you some program examples before we even get into any definitions or details, because maybe you're already thinking like, okay, well, what would I have in my area? So I wanted to mention Bucks County Community College. They actually have pre-apprenticeships in manufacturing and construction. And the pre-apprenticeship is a short-term grant-funded training program that can help folks prepare for registered apprenticeship, because registered apprenticeship is employment. And sometimes you need certain prerequisites just to qualify for it. And Bucks County Community College offers these specifically to young adults. So high school grad to 24 years old. In fact, even before you graduate high school, if you have the ability to leave school and physically drive to their Bristol campus, you can actually start their pre-apprenticeship prior. It is different from the Montgomery County one only in that it is not connected to a specific employer. It is more classroom time. And it is during the day, and it's outside of school, obviously, but it does exist. I'm going to show you a few slides later how to find these opportunities. The Finishing Trades Institute is actually in the far northeast, if that is an area you're familiar with, depending on the part of Montgomery County that you're in, which means it's in Philadelphia, but very close to the Montgomery County border. And that is a large facility that houses about 5 different unions, in this case, in the skilled trades. And they also run a pre-apprenticeship. And you can apply directly to them on their website. Now, in Montgomery County, we have a few great partners for upcoming IT registered apprenticeships, such as Montgomery County Community College and Drexel University. These apprenticeship programs are not for the students at those schools. They are actually for the general public to apply to and get connected to an employer who is hiring for those positions. And through those schools, they can get the education at the employer's expense. So obviously, this can be some pretty great opportunities to pursue. GlaxoSmithKline, right here in Montgomery County, they have some really cool apprenticeship programs that are specifically for high school graduates, because they have a requirement for these positions that you actually don't have any college credits yet, or very few. And the successful students who apply for these jobs start right after graduation in the fall in a few different positions as full-time employees, and they actually drive, they leave school early a few days, work early a few days a week to drive to Montgomery County Community College and take the classes to support the positions at GlaxoSmithKline. Really, really competitive positions, but honestly, really amazing way to get started in a career. Globus Medical is a Montgomery County employer with a prototype model making apprenticeship. They have about 14 employees right now who are apprentices. So just more opportunities and options, and especially in manufacturing, that has expanded a lot. We call it advanced manufacturing, which includes things like prototype model making, because as you'll notice with Stein Seal, very clean facilities, very modern, lots of computer use, very professional. It's almost like doing the work of somebody with an engineering degree from college. Very sought after positions. And new ones are coming soon in cosmetology, medical assisting, EMT, even education. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is, you're going to see in the next 2 slides, the actual one pager that I send out to career seekers who are interested in registered apprenticeship. And that's for any age, from young adult to midlife career changer. So it's really great information because it explains what you can expect in a registered apprenticeship, which is an earn while you learn model. And as I mentioned, you are a full-time employee. This is an employer's training program for their employees, but you are expected to show up every day, do a hard day's work with a mentor, learn on the job, but then also do either virtual, like the Tooling U example, education, or actually leave every day and go to the community college like they do with GlaxoSmithKline. So it's a big commitment and it's not for everyone. And you do need to apply for these positions because they are full-time employment, but they can be very beneficial. And pre-apprenticeship, as I mentioned there, is also an opportunity where if you're interested in a particular field and you would like some prior exposure to the field and some prior training, then you can look for a pre-apprenticeship in that field. The next slide, please. So the way that you find registered apprenticeships are through these databases. And again, this is on the one pager that you can receive. And this will take you right into how to find the registered apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships. Just so you know, a few slides later, you will be seeing some screenshots of those databases so that they're not totally new to you when you get there. The first bullet references actually the PA CareerLink database, because in there is a great filtering feature to find hiring registered apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships, which is a really big factor because not every registered apprenticeship is always hiring and not every registered apprenticeship is meant for brand new employees. So it's really important to be on these databases and see what opportunities actually exist. The second bullet, the U.S. Department of Labor has a national portal. What's interesting about that one, and I think it's important to know, is it actually, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but you should know, it pulls almost from Indeed.com. It literally will list every single employment opportunity, and you can filter it by location. It will list everything that has the word apprenticeship in it, which is good from the standpoint that if you know that you're interested in apprenticeship opportunity, no matter what it looks like, then you can look there. But only listings with gold stars are actually registered apprenticeship. And the only difference there being, that means that you know exactly what it will entail because of the criteria on the top half of this page that you would see if you were looking. But that basically is that commitment to on-the-job learning, having a mentor, the addition of the classroom or virtual learning that the employer is paying for, as well as wage progressions. Apprenticeship PHL is a regional consortium for apprenticeship, and they also have their website where you can also find local opportunities that are currently hiring or pre-apprenticeships that are taking new program participants. And then you'll see learn about building trades. That is really cool because that's an entire website just for the building trades. There's about 12 different sections. You can watch videos and it will give you the contact people for finding out who is hiring and when their training classes are starting. We have a councilwoman in Philadelphia, Catherine Gilmore Richardson, and she does an annual guide to apprenticeship, which is also regional. And then we have, it's actually a guidebook for Pennsylvania for careers. That's the last link. Next slide, please. Okay, so here are some screenshots for you. So like I mentioned, you can use the PA CareerLink database. to search for registered apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeship, you'll see on the far left side under program type, there's actually a toggle there where you can click on registered apprenticeship. And then when you hit search, it will bring that up, and you can see under search by keywords that you can put your location in. And so, like I mentioned, this is probably the best method for finding the registered apprenticeship employment opportunities, as well as pre-apprenticeship training opportunities that are currently hiring in our area to see what is active, and that's really your best place to start. The next slide, please. This is a screenshot. I just wanted to give you an idea of what you'd see. As I mentioned, the US has a national database where you can search for apprenticeships as well. This can pull up additional opportunities that may not pull from the PA CareerLink site. Not every employer is going to be in the PA CareerLink site, although every registered apprenticeship is expected to be there, but they may not always be there. How do I put it? If they are hiring, they may not have listed the job there at that time. You can look here. I've had job seekers use this particular database in conjunction with the PA database just to see a complementary list of hiring opportunities in apprenticeship, as well as, like I mentioned, this will pull up non-registered opportunities, which are really still worth pursuing, because anytime an employer puts the word apprenticeship next to a job, typically that does entail that there is additional training and or that they're hiring people without the full skill set and plan on helping them get that. But I did want to mention again, only listings in Apprenticeship USA's database with a gold star or registered programs. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. So, oh, there we go. Discover the building trades. Thanks, Kendall. I had referenced this slide. I wanted you to see what it looks like as well. Very user-friendly, incredibly helpful. So even though registered apprenticeship is excitedly expanding into many industries where a high school senior or somebody 1 or 2 years out, or even a junior looking for what's to come, can find opportunities that are full-time in a variety of industries where they don't have to come in with the criteria that are required yet and get it while they're doing the work. There's still a lot of interest out there in the building trades because they are excellent careers, and not everyone had the opportunity to go to a CTC and get that training ahead of time. So this is a great site because you can click on, there's about 12 of those. You see 4 there. There's about 12 of those sections. And like I said, it will show you a video, give you an explanation of what the career is like, and then a contact so that you can find out when they're hiring again and when their application's open. And that is everything I had for you today. Thank you, Kendall.
Right. So I'm going to just kind of reiterate and, well, I'm going to talk about some opportunities in Montgomery County, just outside of some things that, say, traditional kind of thought process for like high school students, high school seniors. There is a lot of opportunity now with, approved eligible training providers that are focused on different trades and skills and jobs. And these are 9-month to sometimes 2-year training programs. They're all local and in and around Montgomery County. Some are virtual, and these are high quality training programs. And you can find these training programs on the eligible training provider list. And these are for occupational skills training. We've mentioned those 2 things a couple times already, but I want to kind of dive down in what that means a little bit further. So occupational skills training, and on the ones on that list could be a number of things. Could be registered apprenticeships, as Adina mentioned. There's dental assistant training programs within Montgomery County and Chester County that are affordable, that are short-term, and that usually to pretty solid paying jobs directly afterward, with usually very, very little debt. What's good about Our programmings that we mentioned is that if you are a Monco Works Now participant, or you are eligible at the career link for funding, a lot of times we can offset the funding for those types of programs. So when you get this link and we send it out to you, take a look at that list, because those eligible training providers, they're vetted, they're solid, they're on that list for a reason. And then you have ones at like a North Monco's adult training program. If you missed out on a CTC, or you didn't attend a CTC, but you are interested in learning to become an electrician, a North Monco adult education would be a great place to start. And they are on that list as well. You have all the CDL, commercial driver license training programs within Montgomery County. That's a high need, high priority occupation within the county and the state and then the country. In addition, your medical assistant, certified nursing assistant, surgical processing technician, front desk healthcare, process, like all those. There's so many different healthcare jobs that are out there that are really, really high need, and the training providers for them are on that list. And so again, short-term, affordable, and they're leading to really, really good paying jobs as an alternative for you to potentially, do or be entered in as you move forward. The workforce development program at Montgomery County Community College, again, shorter term programs, non-credentialed, non-degree programs, but leading to really great jobs. Again, all on that list. Information technology, there's IT Works, Job Works, New Paths. Those are three great providers to learn, those entry-level IT jobs that are very, very, very much in need in the county. And they're very, very important and can lead, directly to, getting you're working while getting your bachelor's degree, master's degree, and it's a nice progression there as well. So those are things that wanted to be aware of. I mentioned Monco Works Now, potentially providing funding for those. Please contact Megan, listed on there if you do have interest in Monco Works Now. I also wanted to talk about the guide that was posted for the careers of tomorrow. As you can see right there, just dives deep into more what these jobs are and what they pay and how many are open. And Jane on the call today did an awesome job of putting that together. And they're really, it's just great information in one spot for you to learn more about those jobs and what's available to you. So just check it out. Check out that list, because it's a nice starting point. A lot of times I hear from people, hey, I want to do this or this or this, where do I start? That's always where I send them, is that eligible training provider list. So next slide. And again, I talked about this briefly before. I'll just touch on it briefly again, particularly with Monco Rise. For your applications, for all you students out there that are thinking about applying for Monco Rise, full essay, make sure you answer all the questions, full address, all those different things that are listed within there. Make sure that the essays, we're asking for at least 3 to 5 sentences. Make sure you do at least 3 to 5 sentences. Answer every single question on that application. That's the number one thing we're looking for. If that application is not complete for Monco Rise, it's not getting looked at. So that application has to be complete for you to move on to that next step of application evaluation. So just a heads up on that for Monco Rise, for educators in the room, and for anyone viewing this recording later on. And then just touch on this again briefly. Monco MCIU career connections coming down the pike for your educators and parents and students viewing this portion. Again, great place to be connected with work-based learning experiences. We're looking to onboard as many businesses as we can into this program, and we're looking to make sure that it's the number one place for everyone to go to get connected for those work-based learning experiences and to learn about different programming that's coming out. So we're very, very excited about it. Stay tuned for it. And again, it's something that we think it's going to be a positive thing in increasing the educator-employer connection in the county. And then last but not least, again, for anyone viewing, Monco new event in late March, hiring event. We're looking to invite students this time around. And so just keep an eye out for that within your school counseling offices. And yeah, we're very excited to be able to offer this again. A number of students were hired from this last year, and hopefully we can repeat the same success and make it better this year. All right.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Adina. Great information. As mentioned previously, the PowerPoint and additional resources that were presented in this session and the two previous sessions will be sent to anyone who registered or anyone who provides their email address in the chat. Our contact information is there for anyone who has any questions about information that was provided today. It does look like we have time for questions. Megan, any questions in the chat for us?
No questions in the Q&A or the chat.
Excellent. Okay, that looks like we'll wrap up just a couple minutes early. Again, we want to thank anyone who stuck it out from 9 o'clock to this 10:30 mark. We appreciate the support that you've provided. We want to encourage you to get involved with Montco New. There is a donate button, donate opportunity that is on our website. We are looking for funding to help support the great things that we're doing for youth, young adults, and employers in Montgomery County. So check that out. All of the recordings will be posted. So if you found any of the information that you heard today valuable, please share it with others. Thank you.